Let's take the if statement a step further. We've seen just a simple if this condition is true, do this. We've introduced the else if, or ELIF. If the first condition is not true, then check the next condition. Well, and we can keep going with the else ifs. We can create multiple of them. You got multiple conditions you want to check for, check the first one. If not, move to the next, and so on and so on. Okay. We can also do what I consider a catch-all. Well, if none of those are correct, then perform this. And this is called an else. Take a look. So I've got my initial if condition. If that's true, then it's going to perform this print operation. If that's not true, then it checks my else if condition right there. And if that's true, then it performs this one. Well, what if neither of those are true? Right now, nothing happens. The program's just twiddling its thumbs, and you gave me nothing else to do, so let's just sit here, right? So instead of that, I want to give it an out. I want to tell it, well, if neither of those are true, or that group of ifs is not true, then perform this operation. In steps the else. So at the end, after my if and any else ifs that I have, I'm going to bring in the else statement. Has no condition, so I'll just close it with the colon there, drop down a line, and I'm going to print something out. So I'll say print. I don't know what I'm going to print just yet, but I want to do something if those two conditions are not true. Now let's think about this for a moment. The operators that I've used, greater than, if A is greater than B, and the other one is if A is less than B. There's nothing in there that says, well, what if A is equal to B? I didn't use an equal sign in any of those operators. So what if A changes from 10 to 15? Now what's going to happen? Well, that's where my else comes into play. So I'll just say A equals B. All right, let's try it out. I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'll F5 to run the module. And there's my code. Get that window over there. So A is equal to B. If we change it, that goes to 10 again. I'll go ahead and rerun my code. I get the other output, and if it's greater than B, save it, F5, then I get my other output. So now I've got an if with an else if, and if none of those are true, then it'll catch everything else with this statement, or with this command, or block of commands, whatever it is. This is your if. If you've used them in other languages, you're coming from someplace else, it should feel very similar. Syntax is a little bit different, but other than that, the concept's the same. If you're coming from Excel and you've used the if function in there, very similar, just different way of writing it. So try it out. Get an if, get an else if, maybe get a few else ifs in there, and try out your else as well. And make sure you test. If I can give you one piece of advice as you go through and do programming, test, test, test. Test it out, right? If you don't test it, your users are going to test it and they're going to break it. So test everything out, output it out to the shell window, make sure you're getting all the results that you're looking for.